Arsenal 2, Wolves 1. It's the full-time result from the Emirates this afternoon. And it is frustrating. I think we went into this game knowing that Arsenal were going to be the favourites, especially with Wolves' absentees with the injuries and suspensions. But we gave Arsenal that head start, really, and it really made life difficult for Wolves. Do let me know your thoughts if you were able to catch the game in the comment section down below. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as well. I'll put the starting lineup on the screen now. It's what I suggested and predicted in the preview, with Craig Dawson returning, Hugo Bueno starting at left wing back as well, and that midfield too of Boubacar Traore and Tommy Doyle. But the last three games now, we've gone 1-0 down after before the 10-minute mark, which Wolves can't afford to let that keep happening, because straight away you've got an uphill battle. You'll make life very difficult for yourselves, and we can't afford to keep doing that. And with Arsenal, it was the 2 goals within the first sort of 15-20 minutes or so. And away at the Emirates, you can't do that against Arsenal full stop. But then when you're at the Emirates away from home, Wolves haven't been fantastic away from home. It's going to make it a very long afternoon. First goal, I think both goals, to be honest, are quality from Arsenal. Wolves really, until about the half-hour mark, really struggled to get any control of the game and lay a finger on Arsenal. Bukayo Saka is a very talented player, and once again the way he moved the ball and shifted his body to sort of squeeze out of a position where he's got 2 men marking him was fantastic. And then he finds himself in front of goal. I think Craig Dawson will be disappointed with how he didn't defend that opportunity properly. Saka gets that little bit of luck where it bounces off Dawson, bounces back on to himself, and we can find it past Jose Sarr. And the second goal was something of pure quality, I think, from Arsenal, with how quick they moved the ball. Again, possibly Wolves should have been a little bit more alert to it in and around the area, but Zinchenko finds that ball then onto the edge of the area to Ødegaard, who just has to pick his spot, and he does that past Jose Sarr. So Wolves all of a sudden a little bit shell shocked, but we've really got to make sure, especially against Burnley coming up. We look at the next 2 games against Burnley and against Forest at home. We're unbeaten in the last 4 at home, and you would hope that we could pick up some points there. But it almost felt like a lot of fans went into this game with not much pressure and almost a free hit, because I think in the back of our minds we think, it'll be okay, we'll pick up points in the next 2 games. But that isn't guaranteed, especially after Burnley have just beaten Sheffield United 5-0 today. So yeah, frustrating to go 2-0 down so early on, and at that point I thought this could be a really long weekend, afternoon, and it could be almost a repeat of that game against Arsenal away towards the end of last season. Jose Sarr then picks up an injury, which is far from ideal. Dan Bentley comes on, and the only time we've seen Dan Bentley so far this season was against Ipswich, where he wasn't fantastic. But to be fair to him, from Wolves didn't concede once he was on. Made a couple of smart stops. Distribution I felt was okay as well from him towards the back. And I think it was almost a miracle that Wolves went in at half-time at 2-0. We really struggled to cause Arsenal any issues. I think Hwang had one where he should have probably been a little bit more alert to it and tested David Raya right at the end of the first half. And I think if you can go in at half-time at 2-1, it's a completely different game. But second half, we were much better. I don't want to say it was fantastic, but we were much better than what we were in the second half, and we did start to cause Arsenal some problems. Cunha forced a really good save from David Raya. Hwang forced a stop at one point as well. And we saw some changes just to freshen things up with about half an hour, 25 minutes to go. And we saw Sarabia get some minutes. Doc had come on again at left wing back. So Wolves did start to string together a few attacks. And we frustrated Arsenal. Look, they had some great chances of their own. Bentley making 1 or 2 good saves. Nketiah had come off the bench and hit the post as well. So Arsenal still looked very strong. But they really, after that second goal, they were able to take their foot off the gas and cruise really to the final whistle. I think they will be disappointed, Arsenal, that Wolves managed to get a goal. It was another finish by Cunha. Good to see Matheus Cunha get on the score sheet. And of course, it's good to see Wolves score again, continuing our really strong form of scoring goals. And it's a great finish. Curls it on his left foot past David Raya into the back of the net from the edge of the area. So that's a really nice goal. And for the last 10 minutes plus stoppages, you're rubbing your hands together thinking, can Wolves pull off a really big result here and a big upset? Being dead and buried at 2-0, can they get something out of this game? And we knocked, but it was just a little bit frustrating towards the end. We brought Kalajdzic on for the final few moments. Wolves just, really, you've got to just knock it forward and hope there's a bounce that falls in your favour or someone wins a flick on and see what happens. And Wolves didn't do that. Semedo, who at times contributed, he actually got the assist for the goal, but I felt he broke down a lot of attacks with it, with his choice of final ball. And yeah, it was, look, I don't want to sort of nitpick the performance too much because it's away at top of the league. Arsenal have been, although maybe, we spoke about it on the preview, maybe not as attractive as they were last season. They're getting the job done and they're very, very difficult to beat and they're not conceding very many goals. So especially at the Emirates, it was never going to be an easy game for Wolves to get points from. But I think really disappointing first half from Wolves, really disappointing, but second half showed a little bit more the Wolves that we have been seeing in recent times. I felt the midfield, we struggled just to get that control of the game. And I think Doyle and Boubacar both showed their qualities in different ways today. Tommy Doyle showed that distribution, showed his passing range, showed what he can bring to the team. Boubacar just never stopped. He was just working and working. But I just felt the balance of that five at the back. We were always going to be inviting that pressure on from Arsenal. And for whatever reason, in that first 45, we just didn't work. The key is now, against Burnley, against Forest, set up and just make sure either we get first blood and score the first goal, or just make sure we get through the first 15-20 minutes, make sure we don't concede, we control the game and go from there. Because I think Wolves are a team that, at the moment, this season especially, just tend to grow into the matches. We saw it Bournemouth away, we saw it at Luton away. First half, we were really poor. So we've got to make sure, especially in the home games, we can continue our strong home form and get some points on the board. Because I think, yes, okay, we've dropped points today, or not dropped points, we haven't got any points today, but against Burnley and Forest, I think we have to get something from those two games just to continue a decent run of form going into the Christmas period, especially with another away game against West Ham the week after as well. But guys, let me know your thoughts on the defeat today. Arsenal 2, Wolves 1. Be sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the weekend. Lots of content coming out. We'll get the fans react out. There'll be a podcast out in between this game. We'll have the Burnley preview over the next couple of days as well. But please do look after yourselves. If you're in the UK, try and stay safe and stay in the warm because it's absolutely freezing out there. And I'll catch you guys next time.